No, I'm not.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening.
Hi, Drew. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, guys. Happy Independence Day to everyone.
Independence Day.
Independence.
Happy Independence Day.
Want to see more people on the screen? Can we have all the videos on? As many as possible, at least.
Yes.
No, some people will have constraints putting their kids. Awesome. We have a very interesting wellness, wisdom, wealth. We have all three topics today, right? And we'll start off with wellness. We'll have Priyadarshini. Priyadarshini is a yoga instructor and she'll be talking about kids nutrition. This is something that we got as a request from many of you. So please understand all the topics are selected based on interest that the people are showing, right? So please do pass on feedback. You can use the chat option here, or you can pass it on to the person who's invited you, and the next topic will be decided, right? So one thing that everyone wanted was to know more about kids nutrition, and that is why we have selected Priyadarshini, who has a kid at her home, and she has been taking care of him very well. And so we thought she might be the best person to do it. The second speaker would be Sharada. Again, a wonderful topic on wisdom, mindset. The topic itself is mindset. I don't know how many people have read this book called The Mindset by Carol Dweck. So Sharada will be talking about that. And the last topic, because we got a lot of interest on the last retirement planning, right? One of the best way to plan your retirement would be through equity. And the best way to invest in equity is to go through a mutual fund. So I'll be talking about the basics of mutual fund at the end. Okay. So with that, let's make some noise. Let's clap and bring up Priyadarshini as the first speaker. Let's all unmute and clap for Priyadarshini. Awesome. Over to you, Priyadarshini.
Thanks, Joe, for the wonderful introduction. I hope everybody is more interested in knowing about kids' nutrition. Even if you have kids at your home or your friends who have kids, you can help them with this information, whatever you're going to learn, and you can connect with the person who has invited you later also for the same. Do I have access to share my screen?
Yes.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what are we going to talk about? I just want to find if everybody is in sync. I think all are muted, Joe.
Yeah, they can unmute now.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'll just go ahead with my slide. We are going to talk about kids' nutrition. Who is interested? Can I see emoticons coming up? Who is interested in knowing kids' nutrition? Who knows about nutrition also already can also raise if you are interested. Okay. So we see everyone interested in it. So I'll just go to the next slide. Why do we think like why do kids need nutrition? Anybody wants to answer? I put the answers here, but say something about apart from this. Sorry? Is it Sasha? I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, go ahead, Priyadarshini.
Okay. So why nutrition for kids? As I asked already, everybody needs nutrition basically, but why to introduce nutrition for kids? Because at the growing age itself, they will have a habit of eating good or eating a proper plating. And it will provide them the complete vitamins and minerals that they need for the particular day. It is not only like when they are sick, we have to give them good food and everything. It is a daily routine that we have to make it as a habit. Only when we know more about our nutrition, how we can take it and how we can help them, we will be able to grow a kid who can also get proper nutrition with our guidance. Okay. And what nutrition does for a kid, it is going to give a proper physical growth and development of brain. And even it works on their sleep patterns. There are kids, if they don't eat healthy, they be cranky. They are trying to sleep, but they cannot sleep also. There are kids who struggle to sleep just because the proper nutrition is not given for the particular day. And once you start with healthy habits during the younger age itself, you will know, obviously, you are giving a greater asset to your kid that in future they're going to have a healthy life, which they will be also giving it to their future family. Okay. And going next, what if kids don't get proper nutrition? Say, for example, I'm traveling today, I'm not eating properly, I'm eating all that I'm getting in packets. And imagine my whole day will be tired, right? So if the same thing happens on a routine to a particular kid, what happens, like if I'm giving packeted items and not giving which is nutritious, and other things that I am giving which is not going to serve them the purpose, there is a condition which will develop in the kid. It's called malnutrition. And what will happen to the kids is like they will be deprived of vitamins. That's the reason some kids have some skin issues also. They have some white spots or something, and in nails also they do get some kind of dots. So such things appear, and there are few kids who develop headaches also. Okay, just because of the proper nutrition not given to them, these issues come to them later. And also they show anxiety. And there are cases proved when proper nutrition is given. There are few examples where the hyperactivity of the kid is also controlled. There are few, researches which prove that. And for when a kid is malnutrition, what happens to the kid is like for their particular age, what height has to be, what weight has to be, that won't be in the proper range. They might be seen active, but they won't be in the proper range of their growth. And some will have also weakened immune system. They'll often fall sick. There is some kid who is falling sick in school, and because of the malnutrition that the kid is suffering from, the kid will carry over the disease or whatever sickness the other person is having and easily get affected. So because of the weakened immune system. Okay, so now we have been talking why, what, and why not, if what will happen if they don't get it. But we have to understand what is nutrition, right? So nutrition can be different types like vitamins and minerals, but basically in what forms we can take it for kids is like multivitamin, DHA. DHA is going to help them in brain health and immunity, and it will enable them to have an active lifestyle. And as a chart, I have shown it here. What are all the different vitamins available and the sources, so that you can get an idea. And basically, if you have to give a proper nutrition, these are the vitamins and nutrition that you can give it to your kids, like vitamin C, calcium, iron, vitamin D, and vitamin K. Many might not know, but it is an important vitamin. Even at the younger age, the kids are given vitamin K as part of drops. But later in the toddler, or if they have crossed their age about 10 years also, they do need it. But when taken in a combination of vitamin D and K, it works out well. Okay. And going to an example of healthy plate. Who all agree? Your kids like all these sections in the plate which is given. Not every kid, right? Yeah, that is true. It is not possible in single night you can make your kid to eat everything that you like or you think healthy. It has to be as a habit. You bring it over a long period of time, but it takes time for them also to switch to that routine. But give them some time. Even if they don't like it, you can keep it in the plate. There are chances they pick it and eat it at a point. Even if they throw it in a smaller quantity, it is fine. But just show them these are the good foods and these are more important for you to take daily. Basically, it is going to be your vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbs. Carbs, you will obviously get it from grains. Protein is much important for their health, and it will make them to grow taller also. and it's good for muscle growth. And veggies, obviously, it will have all fiber, vitamins, and as I explained in the previous slide, it's going to serve the purpose of getting the nutrition. And apart from that, there are many parents who give health drink in what all names. Even if you were a kid, you would have given health drink, say taken health drink, saying like this is what is there inside. The nutritional information will say, but basically we don't have an idea. It also has lots and lots of sugar, where we are giving it in along with milk. We think, okay, the kid is going to grow out better. But basically we are making them addicted to the sugar, whatever is there in that. So really, do you think the healthy drink, whatever you are giving, is really healthy? No, not at all. Always stick to the nutrition information which is given. Is it serving the purpose? As we told, the proteins, minerals, vitamins, all that needs to be there should be available in the highest percentage, and the least should be sugar, or no sugar is also fine. Okay. And that's the reason what I do is like, I do give my kid Nutralite in the form of kids version. So I do give him multivitamin and a health drink, which is out of Nutralite, which comes in 2 flavors, one in chocolate and one more in mango. And apart from that, I do give him a multivitamin and vitamin C. And there is DHA, which we call it as yummies in Nutralite. And it serves the purpose of daily source of DHA, which is not easily available for everybody. And it's in the form of chewable also. And as I told, vitamin D and K is the good combination to have. So we do have a combination of a gummy, which saves the purpose. So, and that is called Love Your Gummy, Love Your Bones. And that is going to be in the form of gummies, which is easy for kids to have, and even adults can have it also. So if you have any doubts, what kind of nutrition that needs to be taken, and when it should be taken for your kid, please get in contact with the person who has invited you for this session and get to know more about the nutrition that you have to take for your kids. So that's it from my side, Joe.
Awesome, Priyadarshini. Round of applause to Priyadarshini. Thanks a lot. Anyone else? Anyone having any questions? You can use the chat option, or you can unmute and ask also. But I guess Priyadarshini covered the topic as an entirety. But if you need to know specifically what your child requires, you can always get back to the person who's invited you. Obviously, most of them are certified nutritionists, so they will be able to help you. But anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. Okay, cool. So then we will go to the next topic. As I told you, the next topic is on, so we had wellness. We have 3 W's, right? Wellness, wisdom, wealth. So we covered wellness, and today we covered for kids. A very, very important part of our life. And then we'll move to wisdom. It's very important. I always keep telling this. What makes a person successful is the way they think. Right? It's so important. I don't know how, I can't tell you how important it is. If you ever read any self-help book, they talk about the same thing. They talk about the way we think. If we change the way we think, our life will change. But if we continue to think the way we think today, our life will be exactly the same. That is why, I don't know how many people know this, people who get huge money with the lottery, chances are that within years, they would have lost all that money and they're back to the position they were in. Right? And there was a experiment, theoretically done, where all the money in the world was distributed equally to everyone. But after a few years, everyone got back the money that they had. Because the way they think matters a lot. So Sharda is going to speak about a wonderful book by Carol Dweck, Mindset. So let's all attentively listen to Sharda and make sure that we implement what is written in this book so that our life will change for the better. Over to you, Sharda.
Thank you, Joe. Hi, everyone. I'm Sharda. I'm connecting from Trivandrum, Kerala. I worked as a technology consultant in Hewlett-Packard for a short span of time. Then I switched to academics. I was a teacher for around 8 plus years. And currently, after that, now I'm an entrepreneur. And truly speaking, even I was a person who was very much scared of business. And see, now I'm a entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur. So it's a great change as far as I'm concerned. So let me know, how many of you want to make change, any change in your life? Like, we have many things in our life. We have many roles that we are carrying out. If you want to make any change, any one change, single change in your life, please let me know. I want a raise of hands. Yes. So many of us want to make changes in our lives, right? Only if we require any change, I should speak. Otherwise, this is of no use, I think. So that's why I asked you the question. Do you want to make any change? So before I start, let me tell you one thing. So let's keep this session very interactive, because for two reasons. One is it's already 10:15. So if it is not interactive, you may fall asleep. I also might feel sleepy. So let's keep this very interactive. And another reason is, I know, I was a teacher for a long 8 years. So a problem with the teachers is, if we feel that somebody is not listening, we have the tendency to call out their names and ask questions. So I request you not to poke the teacher in me. So yes, let's discuss about mindset, as Joe mentioned. So you all said that you want to make changes in your life, right? So I'll tell you how I made changes in my life. Are you interested to know how I made changes in my life? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. Yes, we are all very much interested to know how a person changed, or we all are very much interested to know those steps, right? One by one, we want to know the steps, we want to know the process. We are all very much interested to know these things, the information. If that information was the key, then we would have changed long back. We would have attained all the goals long back, isn't it? Because all the informations are readily available at our fingertips nowadays. So information is not the key. Then what is the key? Yes, execution is the key. For execution, what we need?
Discipline.
Yes, for that?
Mindset.
Exactly. We need mindset. Only if we have the right mindset, we are going to change. We are going to implement, right? So I think mindset is the key. So mindset is something which is worth discussing at this time. Without going to sleep, we can sit and discuss about mindset, because mindset has a big role to play in our life. So let me share my screen. So today, I'm going to speak about the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. So we said mindset is very important for us. That is why we are discussing mindset. So mindset, what is mindset? Mindset is basically our perception or our belief about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, right? So we said mindset is important. And how mindset is important? Because mindset influences our attitude, how we look, how we perceive things, our attitude. And it in turn results in our behavior, which would result in our action. And it is the action, as somebody mentioned, execution. It is the action that results in our performance, and that's how we attain our goals. So this mindset, there are two types, as already mentioned. There are two types of mindset. That is, one is growth mindset, and the other one is the fixed mindset. So what is growth mindset and what is fixed mindset? Can anyone? You can use the chat box. Okay, so I'll tell you, what is a fixed mindset? Fixed mindset is like, if you feel that you have this particular talent, or you have this particular level of intelligence, you have these qualities, and that is there with you. This is what I am. This cannot be changed. If that is our thought process, then we have a fixed mindset. Instead, if we feel that, okay, we can improve our level of intelligence, or we can improve our skills, our talents, everything can be improved over time with practice. If that is the way we are thinking, then we are having a growth mindset. For example, if I'm saying, okay, I'm not good at public speaking, so I'm not going to come in front of the class and speak. That is the way a fixed mindset person would say. But whereas a growth mindset, if I'm having a growth mindset, I would say, I'm not good at public speaking now, but I can work on it. I can put in effort and improve. Let me be very frank. I have a very good example for this. Because if I think about my school days, I have never come on stage and I haven't spoken anything on stage, not in front of the class also. I haven't come in front of the class because I was always like, I'm an introvert. I'm a very silent person. It's not my piece of cake. I'm not good at it. That was my thought process. But it was during my college days, or I think when I worked with HP, I realized that is not the way I have to be. I have to speak. I have to interact with more people. I can work on it and I can improve my communication skills, my public speaking skills. I have to work on it. And I believed in it and I started working on it, and I started utilizing each and every chance that I got to come to the stage and speak. By doing that, actually, I have improved a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't be speaking to you like this now. So that is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset person always wants to prove themselves. Like if I'm a person with a fixed mindset, I would be thinking, okay, if I don't know something, if I go to stage and do that, people will get to know that I'm a fool. I don't know anything. So fearing that, I will not take up challenges. I will never be ready to make mistakes because I don't want to prove myself a dump. So I will not take any risk, no challenges. I will not venture into anything which is unfamiliar to me. I'll be really afraid of all those unfamiliar things. And I believe that talent is fixed. I cannot do anything with that. So that would be my thought process. And I'll be threatened with other people's success. But at the same place, if I'm a person with a growth mindset, I'll take each challenge as an opportunity to improve. If I make mistake, I'll learn from it. That will be my attitude. I'll be very much open to negative negative feedbacks. I will not take it as a criticism. I will consider it as a learning opportunity. So that is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. We might be having fixed mindset at certain things, but at certain points we will be having a growth mindset. It's not like a person is completely having a fixed mindset. Very few might have, but some mostly it will be in between. So yeah, it's a continuum. We might be either somewhere on the left side or in the middle, but of course we have that opportunity to improve ourselves and move towards the high growth area. I have a good news for you. Don't worry if you have a fixed mindset. Like me, many have a kind of mixed feeling now, but there's a good news. We are all born with a growth mindset. If we were not, we would be still lying down on the bed, crying for food, waiting for someone to feed us, isn't it? That was how we were when we were born. From there, we learned how to roll, how to get up, how to stand by ourselves, how to walk, and how to do many things. We have learned all this, and that's how we are sitting here right now. So we all are wired to grow. Our brain is having a tremendous growth mindset. So it's a very good news for all of us. We can grow further. If that is the case, then how did we get that fixed mindset? I mean, at least we have some kind of fixed mindset somewhere. Not everyone, most of us have. How did we gain that, or how did we get that fixed mindset? Let me ask you a question. What is this?
Hi, Sharda. Maybe
Yeah.
a set of rules and boundaries of societal rules. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I've shown a picture, na?
okay, but a flower can cause fixed mindset.
Yeah, you said it. It is a flower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine, that's it. It's a flower. Anyone
Okay.
have any other opinion? What is this?
Looks like salt.
All others believe that it is flower, na? Yes. Why we all believe that it is flower? Other than Joe, everyone else believes it is flower, right?
It's flow.
Yeah, it's flower. Why it's flower?
Because it was written
There.
floor and it could be anything inside the jar, but it is written floor.
Yes, it's written floor. So, I mean, automatically we believe that it is floor, right? Yes, it is the label that made us think that it is flour. I'm telling you, as Joe said, I'm telling you it's salt. But most of us thought it's flour just because of the label. Yes, I'm talking about labeling. Labeling is one of the reasons that causes a fixed mindset. When we were small children, we might have heard, you're a smart girl. It's a labeling. You're a dumb. It's a labeling. You are just like your father. It's a labeling. When we hear this, we might think, okay, say, for example, you're just like your father. So we feel that, or we start believing that I have all the traits of my father. Or my father is like this, so I am bound to be like this. I can't do anything about it. If your father is obese, you might think, I mean, you also are on the higher side. So you think, okay, my father is obese, so obviously I'll also be obese. I can't do anything with that. That is the effect of labeling. You know, most of the people, when I was a child, most of the people around me used to tell me that you're just like your father. I look very much like my father. So most of them tell me. So as I said before, I was an introvert. I was usually very quiet. So my father is the person who's like quiet, silent kind of a person. So I think I have acquired that behavior because of that labeling. Not like it is not maybe fully because of that labeling, but that also has played a role in it. He likes maths and physics. I'm a person who loves maths and physics. So many things when I compare now, I have started believing that whatever my father does or whatever he likes, I am bound to. So that is the effect of labeling. So try to avoid labeling. I mean, especially if you're parents, you can try avoid labeling your kids. Let them be very free. Otherwise, when you start labeling, you're putting them into a jar. Instead, we can let them be very free to be what they are, what they want to be. Let them grow. So avoid labeling ourselves and labeling people around us. So now next question. Is praising good or bad?
I would say it is good.
Yes. Any other answers?
Yes, good.
Good. We are all on the same page. So everyone believes that praising is good. Yes, it is good. Yes, praising is good, but what we need to understand is the way we praise is very important. The way we praise, that is the most important thing. Praising can help people grow and it can create kind of fixed mindset in people. The way we praise decides whether they are developing a fixed mindset or they're developing a growth mindset. So actually, personal praise is not good. By personal praise, what I mean is, just saying like, say for example, your kid got good marks for maths. So if I'm saying, hey, you're good at maths, if this is the way that I'm praising him or her, that is personal praise. Because there I am praising that talent or a skill that the person is having. So that person doesn't know how to build it or how he can improve on it. He just believes that, okay, I am good at this. I have this skill. I have this talent. That's it. But if we are saying, like, oh, you got a good mark in maths, no, good grades in maths. Oh, I just really appreciate you for working hard, trying out tricky problems, seeking help from your teacher. All these you have done, and that is what resulted in your good grade. I appreciate you for all these things. If I specifically mention that that process which has helped the kid to develop or to get that good marks, then the kid will understand, okay, these are the things which I did, and this has helped me get good marks. So I am growing. This is the way to grow. This is the way how I can improve myself. So that is a good way of phrasing. I hope you got the difference. Am I very clear? Okay, so that's how we form mindsets. Now, we said how we form mindset. But once it is formed, is that the end of it? Can't we change? We can change. How can we change? First thing, we need to focus on the journey instead of end result. That is, actually 2 weeks back in our W3 session, Nirmal has mentioned about finite goals and infinite goals. When we work on the finite goals, so when we are focusing on that one end result, what happens is once we achieve it, it is done. Or then we are more focused on the end result. If we are making mistakes on the way, then we might get disappointed, we might lose our focus. But instead, if we are enjoying our journey, if we are focusing on the journey to reach that end result, then definitely we learn from our mistakes, we strive to move forward, and definitely we develop a growth mindset. Very important point is always incorporate yes in your statement. Sorry, yet in your statement. Just like how I said now, yet or now. That is like, if I'm saying, I'm not good at public speaking, that is a fixed mindset. But if I say, I'm not good at public speaking yet, which tells me that I can improve. It's not the end of it. I have a chance to improve. So I can work on it. I can put in more effort. I can develop more different strategies to improve. So incorporating yet in our statements help us to think beyond. That is the way of, or I can include now also. That is, I am not good at public speaking now. That means in future I can be. With practice, I can improve myself. Another point is, pay attention to our words and thoughts. That is, especially our self-talk. When we are talking about ourselves, it's our self-talk. But when we are talking about our kids, when you speak to them, when we use words, you have to be extremely careful. That is, avoid negatives and try to include positive statements. As I mentioned before, when you are saying something, it can be encouraging. Instead of labeling, instead of giving personal praise, we can use encouraging words. Then take on challenges. That is, we have to try coming out of our comfort zone and experiment things, try challenges. Even if we fail, it's okay. Even if we make mistakes, it's okay. We can try now. So that is the difference. So we have to come out of our comfort zone, take risks, try new things, and we can improve ourselves. That is the way to change our mindset. So no matter what your ability is, effort is what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment. Carol Dweck said this. And yes, it is the effort that matters. With practice, you can excel, you can master in anything. So Carol Dweck is a person who has researched about this mindset, the two types of mindsets, that is growth mindset and fixed mindset. And she has come up with excellent books on mindset. And actually, we can share the book in our Telegram channel. I think Joe has already shared the Telegram channel links several times. So if you're part of the channel, you can get the book, ebook link from that. Please go through it. It's a wonderful book. It will really help us develop a growth mindset. So with this, I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome, Sharada. One more round of applause to Sharada. And any questions, anyone? It's a very, very important topic. Very difficult topic to explain. It has to be felt. That's why Sharada recommends the book also. So I'm just going to put the link to the Telegram channel. If someone has not yet got added themselves to a Telegram channel, please make sure you get yourself added. And please invite others also to get added to this Telegram channel so that they can start joining these sessions. And I'll be putting the book, the ebook, Carol Dweck Mindset book. Please do read it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask now or even later after you read the book. Any questions? I'm just opening it out for any questions. How many people believe that at least in some areas of your life, you have a fixed mindset? Anyone here? I want a raise of hands. At least in some areas of your life, you have a fixed mindset. Only 2 people? I'll have to raise my hands. Many of us, right? For me, it might be cooking, right? I don't get involved in cooking. The reason I give is I don't think I'll be a good cook. That answer itself tells me that I have a fixed mindset towards cooking. Right? Priya used to say she can never drive a car. And today she drives easily. Right? So that was a fixed mindset that got over. So everyone at some stage in our life, we all have this issue of having a fixed mindset. But once you move into a growth mindset, it's like a liberation actually. You realize that you can do anything. Anything and everything is in your hands. Right? That kind of liberation is amazing. Please do read that book. It's a wonderful, wonderful read. And thanks to Sharada to explain that book, that how much of a possible way she could. Great, guys. We'll go to the third topic now. So we covered wellness, the 2 W's, wellness and wisdom. And we will go to wealth. So last week, I don't know how many people were there. If you're not there last week, the retirement planning. Again, please do go through the Telegram channel. The Excel sheet is there. I hope you guys played with it. And one of the best ways to start saving money for retirement is to invest in equity. Can anyone tell me why? So what are the 2 ways we can invest money? One is equity. What is the other thing? Let me see if people are listening.
Mutual fund.
Debt funds.
SIP. Asset.
Debt
Equity
funds.
and debt. Yeah, equity and debt. Equity means you invest in stocks, right? Directly or indirectly. Debt means you invest in a bank FD or something known as corporate bonds in debt, right? So equity always gives you a higher returns, but there's a risk attached to it, right? Investing in a stock, if the company does well, you make a lot of money. If the company doesn't do well, you lose money, right? All depends upon the performance of the company. Now, you working in a job, or let us say not working also, for you to get all that information as to whether this company is going to do well or not, etc., would be very tough. And that is where mutual funds come in. Okay. Let me share my screen. So I'll try to show you some a quick PDF to explain what is a mutual fund. Okay. So we are investors, right? We are investors. Many investors, what they do is they pool in their money and they give that money to someone known as a fund manager, right? He is someone who has the knowledge, who has information on which stocks will do better, which sector will do better, etc. So instead of you worrying about all that, you trust this fund manager, pool all your money to the fund manager, right? So the fund manager will invest in stocks and securities, right? And he will generate returns. It can be positive or negative, and that is delivered back to the investor, right? So this is known as a mutual fund. So mutual funds can be equity mutual funds as well as debt mutual funds. I'll explain that in detail. So I hope everyone understood why instead of investing directly in stocks, right, you can go through this method where you get a fund manager to do it for you, and that is called as mutual funds. Moving forward, these are the different classification of mutual funds. Based on structure, there are open-ended, closed-ended, interval funds. I'll explain what they are. Based on investment objective, we know this: debt funds, equity funds, hybrid funds. Again, I'll explain. And based on investment style, passive and active. Based on structure, what do you mean by open-ended funds? Open-ended funds means any time you want, you can invest in it. Any time you want, you can withdraw from it. Okay, so there's no fixed maturity date. It keeps on accepting more and more people inputs, right? More and more people can keep buying units. I'll talk about what units are. I'll talk about what NAV is. NAV stands for net asset value. I'll talk about that. So open-ended means you can buy whenever you want, you can sell whenever you want. Closed-ended funds means they run for a specific period only. It's for 2 years, 3 years, etc. And there is something known as a new fund offer that comes out. And for few days or weeks, it might be open. You can invest, and after that, you cannot invest. And you cannot withdraw the money also till that period gets over. That's called as closed-ended funds. Interval funds are a combination of this. Once in a while, they will open out for investments. That is called interval funds. Most funds are open-ended funds. Okay, most funds are open-ended funds. Now, you know, debt funds, equity funds. Debt funds, they invest in debt, right? It can be a corporate bond. It can be, we call it gilt funds. It's much more safer, but the returns are low. Very, very safe, returns are low. I will show you some history also. Equity funds, they invest in equity securities. So basically, they invest in corporates, in companies, stocks. Chances of a high return is high, but risk is there, which means there is a possibility of lower returns also over a short period of time. Hybrid funds means it's a combination of these two, right? The fund manager will decide, depending on the market conditions, how much percentage of the funds he has to invest in equity, how much he has to invest in debt. Okay, so that is the 3 types depending on the investment objective: debt, equity, and hybrid. Now, based on investment style, there is passive funds and active funds. Passive funds means the fund manager doesn't do anything. I don't know how many people know about this concept called as Nifty, Sensex, etc. For example, Sensex has 30 stocks, and there is a ratio in which those stocks are available. So depending on, when we say Sensex has gone up, means the combination of these 30 stocks together with that ratios has gone up. So passive funds invest in such ratios, basically in Sensex, basically, or in Nifty. So if Sensex goes up, your passive fund value will go up, right? So there is no brain to be used here. They invest in the same security in the same proportion as that of the index, right? So there is no brains required, because of which expenses are lower. The fund manager doesn't have to do much. There is no active selection of any stock or sector. And depending on how Sensex keeps changing, there is a ratio. This fund manager has to just keep that ratio active. That's it. Even a robot can do this. Active funds is where the fund manager is very, very important. He has to decide which stock, how much, when to sell, when to buy. So lot of activity by the fund manager is important in active funds, because of which the risk is a little higher on the active funds, but obviously the performance is also high, and there will be a little bit of expenses. The fund manager has to be paid, right? So that is why there is a higher cost than passive funds. Okay, so we decide on the different types of mutual funds. So how to apply? Online methods are there. You can go through multiple apps. So nothing to worry. It's very, very safe as long as you go through a authorized website or authorized app. Okay, so that is what mutual fund is. All these things are not required. Yeah, you can invest in mutual funds two ways. One is called lump sum. You have a lot of money, you can invest it all together. But as I told you, we can never predict the markets, right? No one knows that the market is very high, very low, etc. So when you put lump sum, let us say today the market, I'm just giving you a number, okay? Let's say the market is at 50,000 today. Now you invested, let's say 10 lakhs. Tomorrow the market crashes, right? From 50,000, let us say it comes to 40,000, right? Your lump sum, whatever money you put in, also will come down depending on the stocks or depending on the stocks that mutual fund manager has invested in. Chances are that your investment also will come down significantly, right? So that is a problem with a lump sum investment, because we can't time the market, right? There's no way to know that, oh, everyone wants to put in money when the market is low, and everyone wants to withdraw the money when the market is high, right? But that is not possible. No one knows when it will be high or low. There is no, sometimes when it's very high, you might think, oh, it's very high, I withdraw, suddenly the market will go even more higher. And then you look like a fool, right? And when sometimes when the market goes down, you are like, now it's better to sell. I'll keep the money, but then suddenly you see the market goes up again, right? So you never know. Systematic investment plan is where you invest in a particular date every single month or every single week, right? It can be monthly, quarterly, on specific dates. Automatically money is taken from your account. You can set it up and it gets invested in that particular mutual fund. And what happens here is you are not timing the market. You keep buying whether the market is up or down. So over a period of time, because the trend is that the market goes up, you would have bought the mutual funds at different rates. But because the market is more or less going up, you will make significant profits when you do it in a systematic investment plan. Plus, apart from that, the mindset perspective wise, you are not thinking about investing. Every month, money automatically gets invested. And there's two more types: direct mutual fund, regular mutual fund. The difference is that if you do a direct mutual fund, there is no intermediary, and because of it, there is absolutely no commissions that will go. But if it's a regular mutual fund, let's say I go to HDFC Bank, right? And I say I want to buy some mutual funds. So the HDFC Bank becomes an intermediary. They get a commission. So a small cost will go to them. While if I go directly to the mutual fund website, and when I buy it, there'll be two options. Hyphen direct will be there, hyphen regular will be there. If I go to hyphen direct and buy it, there is no commissions and brokerage, which means I will get more money back because there's no one in between to get those commissions. That's the difference between direct mutual fund and regular. But good thing about regular mutual fund is, ideally, the person who has suggested you to take that mutual fund is supposed to give you advice on when to sell, when to buy, etc. But if they're not doing it, it's always better to go for direct mutual fund. Okay. Now I'll try to explain again growth, dividend, and dividend reinvestment. What it means is, whatever gains you get keeps getting reinvested, right? So for example, I put in 10 lakhs. After a few months, let us say it become 11 lakhs. I'm not taking out the money. That 11 lakhs gets invested. So it's like a compound interest, right? You keep on compounding. That's called as the growth option. There's another option called dividend payout option, where let us say after 6 months, the mutual fund says, this is the profit that we got, 1 lakh, out of which 50,000 we're giving out as dividend. That money comes out as cash and you can withdraw it. That is called as the dividend payout option. The dividend reinvestment option is the money that gets given out as dividend. You can also tell that I don't want that money right now. You reinvest that money, right? So that is called as the dividend reinvestment option. So if you are very young, you're planning for retirement, etc., always go for the growth option. But if you are someone who is retired or very close to retirement, you need that money right now, part of it, go for the dividend payout option. Okay. All these things are not required. Obviously, risk I said, told you, debt funds are very low, equity funds are very high. Even in equity funds, when you buy stocks, there are several kinds of stocks. There are mid cap, large cap, small cap. Basically, it means the size of the companies that they're investing in. Cap stands for capitalization, the size of the company. If it's a small cap company, chances of huge growth is high. Chances of it collapsing is also very high. So when a mutual fund invests very highly on small cap, the risk is very high. Obviously, when the risk is very high, the returns can also be very high, right? But there is a risk. Large cap, the risk is moderate and the returns also will be moderate, right? So that is how large cap, mid cap. So when you invest, you can decide what kind of funds you want to invest in. Now, you might have heard about this concept called NAV. So let me just stop, and I think I've given too much information. Any questions till now? Or it all went above the head? What all did we learn? We learned mutual funds, different types of funds, different classes, growth, dividend, reinvestment, dividend payout. It's all very, once you read the letters, you'll more or less understand it. Any questions till now? Okay. Quickly, I'll explain what is NAV then. Okay. So whenever you buy a mutual fund, it will have something known as an NAV value, right? So a lot of people get confused. What is this NAV? So when they see a very high NAV value, they think it is very expensive, right? That is a wrong concept. That's what I want to explain. So when a new mutual fund comes out, right, what they usually do is they say that one unit size that you can buy is valued at 10 rupees. The NAV or the net asset value will be 10 rupees. And you can invest how much ever you want, but it has to be a multiple of 10. So for example, let us say you are investing 1,000 rupees, which means because each of the unit is 10 rupees, you get 100 units. Okay. Now, not only you, there are a lot of others also investing. Let us say totally this mutual fund has 10,000 units. Okay. So the total money with the fund manager is 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Now he will invest. The fund manager will invest in the stock market. And let us say the value went up, right? He invested 1 lakh and the value is 1,10,000 rupees at the end of the day. End of day one, the value is 1,10,000 rupees. Total units was 10,000. So what it means, now the net asset value has gone up by 1 rupee, right? That means NAV is 11 now. And the value of your investment has become, it was 1,000 that you invested, now it has become 1,100 rupees. So NAV being high is not bad, it's actually good. That means this mutual fund has performed over the years. That is what it means. It doesn't mean anything. It's not the price of something. Okay. So that is how you calculate NAV. So how do you know which mutual fund to invest in? Again, I'm not going to give you suggestions, but if you go to certain websites like moneycontrol.com, etc., you can see the historic performance. Once you come to moneycontrol.com, there are so many such websites. You can just search for Google. If you come under mutual funds, see top ranked funds, performance tracker, SIP performance tracker, all this. If you click on it, you will get all the information. And here also you can choose between equity, hybrid, debt, all those things. I just want to show you the difference, right? Let me click on equity. So if you see equity and I'll select, let's say a small cap fund. So these are the small cap funds, right? And the 5-star means according to Money Control, this is a very good one to take, right? The CRISIL rank. So if you see last 10 years, 30.42 has been the returns, right? That's quite. Right, and you can see the returns for this Nippon India Small India direct plan. So you understood direct plan. No? Now you will understand. Direct plan means no commissions, right? Growth means forgot the word. interest on interest, compound interest rate, right? So obviously the higher value will be direct plan and growth. So you can see last 1 week, they got 0.31%. Last 1 month, 3% was the returns. 1 month, 3% is huge returns. Last 3 months, almost 18% returns, right? It's huge, right? So that is the power of equity, right? But you will see that, see some equities, if you see last 1 week, they are negative. The fund manager, this fund manager, at least for the last few weeks, this fund manager is performing better. That is what it means. But if you see debt now, right? Debt also, there are, depending on the duration and all, you can choose. But if you see debt now, the values will be much lower, right? If you see much lower, 7%, 6%, etc. There you saw 30%. Right? So debt is much more safer, but the returns are low. I would always recommend equity if you're not planning to withdraw money for the next 10-15 years, planning for retirement, equity, because the returns are high. But if you want money in the near future, debt, because suddenly you can't know. You want money in 6 months, suddenly the market falls down, you will not have much to withdraw. But if you keep it in the long term, especially in India, the markets ideally should go up. India is a good market to be in. Now, good thing about SIP, see, this is an ICICI Direct, my personal ICICI Direct. I think it would have got logged off because I've not touched for a long time, but you can see SIPs. Yeah, so you can see. So these are the SIPs that I have set up. Good thing about setting up SIPs is, see, on the 15th of August, 15th of March 2017, I had set up this. So every 15th, with the frequency of 1 month till I cancel this, 8,500 rupees will go into this fund. Which was not 8,500, I can set it up something known as growth option. So it might have started off with 4,000 in 2017. It's been 6 years, right? More than 6 years. I would have started at 4,000 with the condition that every year increase it by 500 rupees. So in 6 years, it might have reached 8,500, right? Same thing here. So you can set up SIPs like this. So this, for example, I've not set up as a growth option. That's why it is staying as 1,000 rupees, right? So you can set up SIPs every month from your bank account. Automatically, the money would be taken till you cancel, right? And you can see, I mean, I'm just not recommending ICICI Direct alone. You can do it in anywhere. But if you see in my portfolio, you can see all that funds. What is the value you bought it for? What is the current NAV and what is the profit? You can see the profits, you can see very high percentages, you can see, right? So around the 40 lakhs invested has become 60 lakhs now, around 21 lakhs of profit in mutual funds with just SIPs. And you don't even realize this money is going from your account, it will automatically go. And they're also recommending whether this is good or not, right? Some of them are telling, so for example, this Motilal and all, according to ICICI Direct, they're telling to sell it off, redeem, right? Sell is their suggestion. Their research recommends that. So I think we are touching 10 o'clock. Any questions, anyone? So please start investing. That's my first point. Start saving money. Start invest, not save money. Start investing money. Right? Mutual funds are a very good choice, provided you don't need money in the near future, right? Because markets can go down also. Always go for SIP, systematic investment plan, right? If you are someone who is little far away from retirement, you can have a higher exposure towards equity because the returns are higher. But if you are someone who is closing on to retirement, you need to, depending on, I mean, if you need this money very fast, have less in equity and a little more in debt. But obviously the debt, the returns are lower. Okay. And
Joe, there is a question from Sri Kumar.
Yeah.
In the chat. In the chat.
Debt funds offer higher returns than FD. Mostly, yes. Mostly, yes. And the good thing about debt funds is the taxes, especially if you are in India, the taxation of debt funds, if you keep it for a longer period of time, is a little better than FD. FD, the interest you have to pay, depending on your current tax slab, you will have to pay 30% or whatever. If you are at the highest tax slab, the interest that you get from an FD, you have to pay 30%. Debt funds, depending on how much time you hold it, right, your taxation can be a little lower. So debt funds usually again gives higher returns than FD. But there are debt funds also, there are multiple types. Okay, it's not, so debt funds also is not a fixed return, but it will be much more safer compared to equity funds. FD is the safest. That is why the returns is the lowest. Nowadays it is high because the inflation is very high, but once the inflation comes down, your FD rates also will come down. Any other questions, anyone? Now with this information, you can also start searching. See, once you know some part of it, right, you will be able to search more, you will start understanding things better. Sometimes all these things can be very confusing when you start off. But with the limited knowledge or limited information that you've got now, you might be able to read some articles and understand better. Right? For example, when we started with weight loss coaching, health, etc., initially it was very confusing. But now when I read an article, I quickly understand. Same thing with the finance, right? Now I understand things very quickly. So the more you read, once you understand the basics, the more you read, it becomes easier and easier to understand. And always feel free to raise questions. We'll always be there to help you guys. Okay, thanks everyone. Yeah, any questions, Neha? Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's just wanted to thank we never give thought to this area as being ladies, that husband always takes the initiative, right? So thanks for the information.
Yeah, so one thing I will recommend, please don't give that completely to your husbands. I mean, don't give that, God forbidding, right? God forbidding something happens to your husband, you guys should be able to take control, right? I mean, it's very important, very important. So please understand things. At our home, Priya knows where all our money is, where it is invested, why it is invested there. It's very transparent and clear. So important, right? It's very important. And my recommendation, as I told you, when the retirement planning, how much ever you save, you never know if it's good enough or not. Expenses are going up, medical expenses are going up. So always, apart from worrying about saving, the best thing is to increase your income also and increase your post-retirement income also. Create assets that will keep on giving you income. So if you have an asset, it can be a business, it can be a commercial building, whatever. If that asset is giving you your monthly expenses, covering your monthly expenses, you are absolutely safe. If that asset is covering up, let's say my monthly expense is 1 lakh rupees, and I have 5 flats in Bangalore, which gives me 20,000 rupees rent. I don't have to worry because 1 lakh will come in every single month from those assets. And my expenses is only 1 lakh. That is a smart thing to do. But many people, obviously, buying those 5 flats is not possible, right? It will cost you 5 crores. But there are other assets you can create with time, right? With your time, you can create assets, which is worth 5 crores, 6 crores, which can give you 1 lakh per month income. And that requires only your free time. And that is what we should be smart enough to do. And once you do that, not only you, your future generations will not have to worry. If you save money, you are maybe safe if you save enough. But if next generation will have to do whatever you are doing, struggle. Okay. We'll continue this discussion. I think we are past 11 o'clock. We'll continue this discussion next week. Thanks, everyone. It was a nice session. Thanks, Priyadarshini, Sharada, for the wonderful knowledge sharing. And people have joined, please do join the Telegram channel. And if you want any particular topic to be discussed, please do share it with us.